What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense. And y'all, we got a lot to discuss because this Carlee Russell situation, I don't like it at all. Like the videos the intro plays because we got to talk about it.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. That's all. 1 and 1 got to equal 2.
Make it make sense, boo.
Big moves. Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
What is this? What is it?
Oh my God.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Okay, guys. So the court of public opinion is really devouring Carlee Russell, and I don't like it. If you don't know who Carlee Russell is, she was a girl who in Alabama, she went missing basically. And her story was actually one of the few stories where a Black woman goes missing and you send planes, trains, and automobiles to go get her. I'm just going to be completely honest with you guys. That's not the kind of reception that Black women receive when they go missing. So for me, when I heard about it and I heard that she was found, I was really overjoyed. But we're going to get into some of what the news is saying because now people are doubting her and she's gone from from the victim to the suspect in the court of public opinion. And technically, I'm going to let you guys have your own opinions on it, but I'm going to tell you that I'm reserving judgment on this young lady. I really am. Because we need to have situations where so many people go and try to find missing Black women. But let me let you hear what some of the news people are saying.
Brittany and Guy, we did just get an update from police about an hour ago. It doesn't give us a lot of new information about what happened, but it does give us an idea of where they're focusing that investigation now that Carlee is back home and safe with her family. So let me go ahead and run you through exactly what they said. Again, this was released just after 5 o'clock tonight. It said, quote, detectives are combing through numerous pieces of evidence collected from the time she went missing until her return home and beyond. Each piece of information is helping investigators reconstruct Carlee's movements during the time she was missing. They went on to say this is a tedious process, but it's important to make sure everything is methodically evaluated so we have the clearest possible picture of what took place from the time Carlee called 911 until she returned home on Saturday night. So keep in mind, that was about a 48-hour period, Thursday night until Saturday evening. While we don't know exactly what happened during that time frame, we do have an idea of what happened in the moments leading up to her disappearance. So let me run you through that, and that's what we know from police. Again, that was Thursday night. Carlee went missing after leaving work. She ordered food from a restaurant in Hoover. She picked up the food. Police say it appears she was alone at the time and was not being followed. We also know at about 9:30 that night, she called some friends or family members, and then at 9:34 called 911 reporting a child on the side of I-459 right near the Colonnade. Police say she is the only such call to come in about that child. Carlee stopped on the side of the interstate. Within 5 minutes, police were on the scene. Carlee was gone, though, leaving behind everything, including her cell phone. Now, 2 days later, this is Saturday night now, she showed up at her house around 10:30 that evening, her parents immediately calling the police. Carlee was taken to a hospital. She was treated and released. We also know police spoke with her some point at Saturday night. They took a statement from her, but they say that's part of an ongoing investigation that will continue. Those details have not been released. As you can
Okay, so let's stop there. You get the gist of it. Even if you didn't know who she was, you know who she is now. Young Black girl, allegedly abducted, kidnapped, returned home. The comments, though, guys, let me let you guys see, because technically it's not just the comments, but I just saw these. I want to make sure you guys can see them as well. Let's see. You know it's bogus because no one is talking about the missing toddler. Literally no search for the child or evidence of the child. That is a rather clever written response from the PD. Watching the case feels like I'm watching Lifetime. Her community deserves to know if there's a danger lurking among them. Okay, so let's just say that she was telling the truth. Why does she then have to go out and give a press conference? Why is that a requirement for an alleged victim? I'm not saying that it does not sound kind of weird that the abductor would bring her back to her mom's house. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we almost have to reserve some judgment until this has been fishy since the beginning. Can you imagine if she faked the whole story? And these are coming from people that look like her. This has gone from a situation where people are so happy that somebody who was allegedly abducted is now the main suspect, and I don't like it. I can't tell people what to believe because the story is crazy from beginning to end. I think the crazy story is what captivated all of us, because you had somebody saying, I heard her on the phone. She called 911. I can't tell people what to believe. I can just say some of these comments are pretty nasty. Somebody even said that they were also the victim of a kidnapping. And that she should have gone on and did an actual press conference. Why would she need to do that? The same night she has to give a press conference? Let's just say that this girl was abducted. What do you think the kidnapper said to her? She could be scared for her life. I'm not saying that it's crazy fantastical that somebody could not be telling the truth. Smollett. But she's not Jussie Smollett, and we kind of have to reserve judgment. Is it a TikTok thing? I don't think she has a TikTok following. I just want to know where the baby is. So, okay, so we'll get into that. Because there's actually articles about the baby part of this story. So let me get to it.
You can imagine it has been a very long and tiring days for Carlee Russell's family, her friends, a number of folks in the community coming together, helping with those search efforts. Chip Scarborough joining us live this afternoon. And Chip, you have reaction from one community activist who helped with that search during that 48 hours she was missing.
And community activist Harry Traveling Shoes Turner took part in the search for Carlee Russell over the weekend, and he said,
Harry Traveling Shoes Turner. What? Did y'all?
part in the search for Carlee Russell. Harry Traveling Shoes Turner took part. Harry Traveling Shoes Turner took part in the search for.
I don't know what his name means, but I love it.
She would in fact make it home safely, and that's up their second day of searching.
So I was already expecting that we was going to have that young lady back with her mama and her daddy. And if there's a kidnapper watching now, if there's an abductor watching us right now, if you have somebody locked up in a basement, locked up in an abandoned building, chained to a wall somewhere, let them go. Let them go.
And that was Harry Traveling Shoes Turner. Okay, so the parents have now come out and spoken out. So I want you guys to hear this.
Laid eyes on her again. What was it like?
To me, I mean, just so much joy.
This morning, in an exclusive sit-down with NBC News, the parents of 25-year-old Carlee Russell are speaking out, describing the moment their daughter appeared on their doorstep after being missing for more than 48 hours.
What did you do when you saw her?
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But it's
Last Thursday, police say Carlee called 911 to report a toddler walking alone on the interstate. She pulled over while on the phone with a family member who described hearing Carlee scream.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running, all her personal belongings except for her phone.
On the scene, police found no sign of Carlee or a child, and they say no children were reported as missing during that time period. The Russells waited in agony until Saturday night.
there were actually just so many calls and texts from people who maliciously lied to us. I just didn't know people could be so evil.
Authorities have not indicated where Carlee was during the 48 hours she was missing or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing investigation.
And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that.
But they say speculation about
I
the
think
circumstances surrounding.
I think it's fair that they cannot actually discuss specifically what's in the case. It is an active investigation. This is what I hope. I hope that this was not any type of elaborate hoax or anything like that, because we need to be able to have planes, trains, automobiles go after Black women that go missing. And as of right now, it doesn't happen, which is why Black women are abducted at a higher rate than any other person. It's Black women. And I'll read the statistics a little bit later.
Carlee's disappearance are only making things worse.
She's having to deal with the trauma of people just making completely false allegations about her.
Her family now urging the public to let the investigation play out, but mentioning an abductor. Her mother asking to read a brief message to the public.
Carlee has given detectives her statement so that they can continue to pursue her abductor.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
NBC News has reached out to the Hoover Police Department to ask whether they're looking for an individual involved. Police have just said they're following up on all information provided by Carlee.
And when I talked to you all on Saturday, you also said your daughter is a fighter and she would find a way back to you.
I felt that in my heart.
Is that what happened?
She did. She found her way back to us. However, we can't discuss the details of that.
But they say one thing is clear.
Do you believe she was fighting for her life?
Oh, she definitely fought for her life. There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
But she made it back to you.
She made it back.
Yeah, she did make it back. All right, Priscilla, so investigators are obviously...
You know, I don't want this to be true. I'm going to give the young lady the benefit of the doubt, but we're straight shooters around here. Another article got released and we're going to talk about it. We're not doing a whole open panel, but I mean, this is one of those things where if you have something to say, whether you agree or disagree or whatever, you can come up as soon as I read this article. It's talking about toddler not used as bait in Carlee Russell case, human trafficking expert says. It says the Alabama woman who mysteriously reappeared 2 days after vanishing when she stopped to help a toddler who was walking on the side of the highway was likely not the target of sex traffickers. A human trafficking expert on Monday threw cold water on Carlee Russell's parents' suggestion that the tot was used as bait to lure the 25-year-old nursing student out of her car. Says, as far as we are aware, this is not a tactic that traffickers use. Sabrina Thurlander, a spokesperson for Polaris, the nonprofit that runs the National Human Traffic Hotline, told Insider, adding that it's a common myth that traffickers often use force to capture their victims. Thurlander also discounted the theory of luring kind-hearted women. Only about 6% of the human trafficking victims who've contacted the hotline since 2007 reported that they had been abducted. It says these kind of rumors spread on social media quite a lot, adding that traffickers don't like abducting their victims because doing so attracts unwanted attention. Kidnapped victims also are likely to attempt to escape from their abductors. Sex traffickers usually prefer to employ trickery and manipulation to reel in their victims as opposed to outright force. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was an aunt who put out, it was like a TikTok or something that said that her niece had been abducted and they were trying to get her to Texas to bring her down into Mexico. And she was like, if you see her, say something. That got so much attention that people did see the girl in Texas, and the girl, they took her in. But the girl was of age and she was saying things like, no, I want to go. So I could see some of that being true in the sense that they will manipulate you as opposed to just outright force. But there was also a situation in Houston, Texas, where a woman was staying at the airport for 10 days, living in the bathrooms because she had been abducted. She was from Eastern Europe. They had taken her to America and they were trying to take her out of the country again. And she happened to get away from her people and she just went from bathroom to bathroom for 10 days. And the story was so crazy because the abductors reached out to the airport saying that somebody was missing and they were looking for her. Once they found out who she was, because somebody who worked at the airport spoke Romanian and could find out, who are you, where are you? Once they traced that call, they found out that the call looking for her was actually from a burner phone. So stuff is crazy. They were traveling with their person in an airport in front of everybody to see. They do grab people and drug them too, though. That's what I've heard. They will grab you, drug you, then bring you to like a hotel for several days and mess with your brain before moving you or before, I don't want to say it like that, but before making you work for clients. It's really, really scary and absolutely nothing to play with. But let's continue. I want to make that bigger. Shanisha, I see you in the back. I'll definitely pull you up in a minute. These kind of rumors spread on social media quite a lot, adding that traffickers don't like abducting their victims because it brings unwanted attention. Okay, we did that. Far more common ways that traffickers use to recruit is that it's a family member. You have a lifelong tie to them and they will exploit that. Another is through an intimate or romantic partner who's exploiting a vulnerability, a need that you have. For example, if you're homeless, if you need food and don't have money to buy it. Predators will also target runaway teens, members of the LGBTQ community, drug addicts. Russell, whose given name is Carllee, does not appear to fit any of these categories. She added that some victims are lured by promises of modeling career or a temporary visa for a low-paying job. Okay, so y'all, again, I'm choosing not to pass judgment on this young lady yet. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Babs next door says, I don't practice suspended disbelief in real life. I practice logic, and this situation is illogical. Therefore, the story presented is not what happened. I'll wait to pass judgment, but it's sketchy. I can't tell you anything else because it does not sound, the story does sound bad, but I really don't want this to be the case. I would love for this to be an instance where somebody was taken and we did such an outpouring of support for her that she was brought back. Sanisha, go ahead and jump in. And I see you, Miriam. You'll be next.
Hey, Mims. So I'm just going to agree with your earlier sentiment that this is one of the only stories that I can recall of where a Black woman was abducted and we just poured out resources in an effort to find that woman. And that's mainly going to be because Black women are oftentimes viewed as disposable and we're often overlooked and undervalued. So I'll start with that. And I'm going to say, I don't have an expectation of Carlee to come out immediately and share her story, right? Because we don't know what her mental state is, her emotional state, or her physical state. But I am going to say, I'm sure there is an attorney involved who is
Shanisha, you're going in and out.
Representing her family with how much her family has been under attack leaving her. I will say hey, ma'ams, can you hear?
You're going in and out. Hey, Shanisha, I'm going to keep you up, but for now you're going in and out. So I'm gonna jump to Miriam, and then we'll come back to you.
Hey, Mims, what's going on? All right.
Nothing much.
So
where do you stand on this?
I honestly stand here. Right now, we cannot pass judgment on what has happened. This girl, she was a nursing student. She could have possibly seen something. I've been sleep deprived and thought I saw something. That is it all is not making sense right now, but it's not supposed to make sense to us. It doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense. We have to wait for everything to come out before passing judgment. And I feel like she's getting a lot of judgment passed on her right now, but also the moment she came home, not even 2 hours after that, she's on social media arguing with another female about being a side chick and this, that, and the third. She was also
Wait, what?
Red Roof Inn.
Wait,
that
hold
was on
on.
Ratchet TV. Yes.
Wait, she was arguing.
Yes.
With who? I thought she went straight to the hospital.
No, she did not. And that was another thing. When her parents called the police and they asked if she wanted immediate medical attention, and it was declined. So that's another thing up for speculation. Well, why would we not take her straight to the hospital to make sure nothing happens to her? They did not do that. So that's
but we just watched it. They said that right away. As soon as she got home, she didn't talk to her parents. She talked to the detectives.
No.
So where did you hear that from?
It was on. Well, while I was working, it was on Ratchet TV. She was arguing. What
is Ratchet TV?
I had never heard about it. Someone at work sent it to me. It's some stream that was on. They got it off of Twitter, and she was going back and forth with a random female because allegedly, as we say, she was at a Red Roof Inn before going home, and she was dropped off at home. Again, we don't know by whom, but she was dropped off at her parents' house, but she was at the Red Roof Inn prior to that. And she had no visible, damages. Nothing was wrong. No, I don't know. We don't know what was wrong with her because we still have not seen her. And again, all the coverage that she was getting, as I do believe people deserve their privacy, but we also want to know, like, what happened? Is there someone out there we need to look out for? There's questions that we need answers to.
Is it Ratchet TV, the Hood's journalist?
I guess. I don't know. I've never heard it before until it came to me and they were like,
sorry.
No, you're good. She was arguing with someone, but you're not in the mind state to be. I wouldn't argue with anybody if I've just been abducted. But the mind she was in, maybe she was trying to defend herself. We really cannot pass judgment on this situation because human trafficking is very real. And like you stated, and I believe this wholeheartedly, they did not believe she was going to get the coverage that she got. And she got a lot of coverage from people up there. She got a lot of coverage. And maybe they was just like, okay, we can't do this one. We can't do that. But it's really difficult you just can't pass judgment on this situation right now and then people were calling her another Jussie Smollett. I think that was that was not cool. Like, come on, y'all. We don't know what happened to this girl and we're not going to know.
So I'm looking through these videos and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this would be considered a reliable source.
It might not.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So that is not true. And I just want to jump in because I don't want misinformation to get out there. The tweets that she was referring to were back from 2020. So these are all old tweets. And I think sometimes what happens is that with all these TikTokers, they get online piecing different pieces of puzzles together. And what happens is a lot of misinformation gets out and people can't tell the difference between what's fact and what's being, put out there just to sway the court of public opinion. I'm going to go back to my earlier point in saying that Black women are often viewed as disposable and we are overlooked and overvalued. I am not expecting Carlee to come out immediately and tell us her story because she just went through a very traumatic experience and we don't know what her mental state is, her physical state, or her emotional state. I am going to say I suspect there is an attorney representing her family through this. I do expect for an attorney or someone close to her to come out to give some details of what happened. And the reason I say that is because it creates situational awareness. I do not know anyone who would not stop to help a child who was considered endangered. And what happens is when we tell bits of the story, it allows other people who could be in similar situations to be aware of what happened to that young woman. Again, I'm not expecting her to come out immediately and say anything. Oftentimes, victims don't share their experience until years down the line. But again, for situational awareness, I do expect an attorney or someone close to her to give some details of what happened because, again, it gives us situational awareness to prevent things like this from happening in the future.
Correct. We need to know,
Mary,
is there someone out there?
Mary, let me just say this because I kind of did an expose on some of these like newer channels. I'm not familiar with Ratchet TV, but I do know that ever since AI came out, what has happened is a lot of people just will, you can literally say, make a video about whatever, and they'll do it. Then you don't have to show your face, and then you'll just use an AI generated voice, and then you've put out a video. So I don't know if Ratchet TV is one of those, but there's a lot.
I wouldn't be surprised if they are, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I had never heard of it until yesterday. I was like, well, where did they come from? All of a sudden.
So, yeah, let me clear that up a little bit. So what we do know is after she went back home, she did not really say too much to her parents at all. The police came, she gave a statement, and she did go to the hospital. That's what we know happened so far. And it's not far-fetched to believe that if we're going to give her the benefit of the doubt, if these traffickers are out there, it would only make sense not to let them know everything that she's told them. You know what I mean? It may not have been a sex trafficker. It might have just been a kidnapping. It could have just been a kidnapping.
No, that's so true, because I've got guarantee they know exactly where she lives. Her parents live, you know, and they could have scared her straight. They could have scared her most definitely. So there's a lot that goes into this. And I don't know if anyone saw the Candace Owens. I could not believe she did that. But Candace Owens, totally out of line. You know, now she's really being scared into not wanting to talk at all. Like
what did Candace Owens do?
Oh, Candace Owens. Oh my goodness. Candace Owens went on there talking about, you know, she's trying to come up off of being a Jussie Smollett. She basically called her a liar, you know, and that's what Candace Owens does.
I don't trust nobody that uses Suave shampoo if you black.
Right.
I don't trust it. Miraculous Jackson, jump in.
Hello, Mims. Let's make this make sense. Hello, everyone. Good day. Hey. So I want to just say, I want to think about my own intuition. Now, we go back to her day. She went to work. She got dinner. She gets on the highway to go home. Now, I'm not spreading any misinformation, but I believe, and we should find out, maybe she had a break. You know, sometimes they say that schizophrenia starts around that age, maybe some underlying pressures she was going through. I made a little quip about seeing a child in her mind. Don't mean to be crass, but until somebody tell us something, we're just going to reach, you know, and the government used a lot of resources to find her. Great thing, because they usually don't put out that much effort for us queens, okay? So that was a good thing. And she walks back home. So my question is, you know, we're going to pray for her and her family. Thank God she's here. Thank God we're not talking about some devil.
Miraculous.
Yes.
Just really quick to paraphrase, you're thinking that potentially there was some mental issues going on, not necessarily an abduction.
I do. I really, really feel this deeply.
I haven't heard, you know, that. Again, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and believe that, well, she hasn't technically said she was abducted. We just know what was put out there. I really do think this young girl was abducted. And I really do think that in the event that such a quick response from the public and media could probably curtail future kidnappings like this, period. So that's what I'm hoping for.
I mean,
5
not
minutes,
so to
he
that
was
effect.
gone.
I'm not trying to, you know, diminish her in any capacity, but I would like some more information. You know, we invested now, you know.
But you got to.
No, you're welcome to. Hold on one second, Mary. Hold on one second. Miraculous, I'm gonna mute you because there is like a back. There's like something going on with the sound. And just like that, I forgot what I was about to say. I was responding to Miraculous.
Can I jump in?
Jump in, Camille.
So I just want to say that just because we are questioning this young lady's story, and we are the same age. I'm 25, just like this young girl. Just because we're questioning her story does not mean that we're against a Black woman and we're not happy that she was found safe and sound. I've been seeing a lot of that online. People saying, "Oh well, you know, how dare you question this Black queen?" And it's just like, well, I feel like we got all these prayer warriors together for her. I feel like we deserve answers. You know, it's not anti-Black to question something, in my opinion.
Well, I'm glad that you're actually on this panel. So, do you feel like her responding the same day is necessary?
No, I don't feel like her responding the same day is necessary because, of course, we want to give her time. But you know how social media is. We have the attention span of a fly. So this stuff is going to, you know, get swept under the rug. And then next week it's going to be something else. And then we're going to forget about it, you know. And this is not something that just can be swept under the rug because it's weird, you know. And then you have all these people getting involved, have people praying for you. You got the whole Divine Nine trying to look for you, you know. So I do think we are owed an explanation at some point, but I don't expect to get an explanation ASAP, you know. I kind of think that's stupid. And if they're being advised by, you know, an attorney, then I'm sure the attorney is advising them not to, you know, give everything right now. So common sense would tell me that it wouldn't make sense to speak immediately, you know.
I mean, in all fairness, they are calling this girl's parents, harassing them. They're calling her Jussie Smollett. So even though, you know, you can have questions. I don't think that it's unfair to believe that somebody can have questions and want more information because the story was riveting and it was compelling to. I just think that we have to reserve some judgment. I don't think that she should be called necessarily the next Jussie Smollett. It's been one day. It's been like 24
yeah, I
hours.
agree. I don't want to railroad the girl. You know, that's not fair to railroad her.
Right.
But also at the same time, it's like, what's good, Miss Mama? Like, what's up? We got questions. What was you doing? Who was you with before, during, and after? Like, the people want to know. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this whole thing has been the court of public opinion. The whole thing has been. I mean, it started by people sharing that she was abducted, and then it moved to, you know, what happened with her sister, and then they released the audio. So it's all been the court of public opinion, in all fairness to what you're saying. But I just think that we cannot be so quick to label her the Jussie Smollett of 2023, because we don't know this to be true. She doesn't have any history of that. And we haven't seen where she's had any gain from this. There's no benefit for it. It's not like they have like GoFundMe's and stuff out there for her.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think the family, because I've seen people say her family was in on it. I don't think a family would go to these lengths to come up for a couple $1,000s. Like you can do other things for a couple $1,000s and not have to do all this, you know? So I don't think a family would do that.
Yeah, I really in my heart of hearts don't believe that this was staged. But I'm not telling you guys that you have to. I'm just saying for me personally, I don't think it's staged. I hope there was no hoax going on, and I hope that moving forward we seek justice for every Black woman that's kidnapped. Because I do have the stats. I'll get to your super chat in a second, Q. The stats say I had them pulled up. Okay. Black women, girls, and gender non-conforming people are disappropriately represented as victims and survivors of trafficking. Black women make up 40% of people who have been sex trafficked. And the thought is because people don't go looking for little Black girls that go missing. And that's sad. That's absolutely ridiculous, but it's true. We need the same level of concern for Carlee for every little Black girl that goes missing. Q says, I also read the donations. We're giving back interesting, but I don't think she needs to speak as soon as she was found. What donations? Q, what are you talking about?
Hey, ma'am.
I also want to say one more thing. Also, just because one person lied doesn't mean that, like you said, there aren't hundreds of other Black women and other people missing. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and there's a missing child every single day in Cleveland, Ohio. So just because if this girl is lying, that doesn't take away from the other tragedies that are happening.
We need this level of concern. Somebody was about to jump in.
I was, Mims. I was going to ask if you had viewed the statement that the police department put out, because I sort of feel like the police department is sort of playing into pretty much social media questioning this girl's account. I remember when I was reading the statement that they had released, they made mention that there had not been reports of a child being missing who matched the description of the child that Carlee had saw on the side of the road. And I just thought that was so interesting because it makes people almost believe that possibly there was never a child on the side of the road, or that she was making the story up. More times than not, if an abductor has a child that they're using to lure people in, that's not going to be a child that went missing a day ago or 3 days ago. That's probably going to be a child that they've used before to create a situation where they can lure someone in. So they will more than likely have some sort of control over that child, or have had them in their, ownership. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here, but they would have been and had that child for some time, months, even years. So I just thought it was interesting how they added that element to the press release that they gave, saying that there had not been mention of a child being missing in the area recently.
I mean, think about this. Just because you're an abductor doesn't mean that you don't have access to children. Why couldn't a child that you have full access to be used as a decoy? How does that just not comply or go over? Like, you have to think sex traffickers have access to women 24/7, that they have drugged, that they have done anything and everything to. Does that mean that none of them could have had a child that they used for something like this? Just because only 6%? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if we. I just don't think that we question people of other nationalities this hard as we're questioning Carlee.
And that is correct. You are 1,000% correct. It took 5 minutes. Did y'all not see that? The footage, 5 minutes, she was gone. That is something that traffickers know how to do. She was gone in 5 minutes. Her car stopped within 5 minutes. The police were there. She was nowhere to be found. What is she going to do? I mean, she must be pretty good or pretty thought out if she really planned this. 5 minutes, the police were there.
Y'all be telling me that I'm messy.
Why are you not messy?
No. The people tell me I'm messy, but I do other videos that aren't like salacious headlines, and y'all, people just choose not to view them. But there was a video called Racism Explained in 30 Seconds. I did a whole video on it. And basically it was a little Caucasian girl and a little black girl put in the same market square of a city. And so many people went up to the little Caucasian girl. She was blonde haired, blue eyes, and they were asking her questions. Are you okay? Where's your parents? And the little black girl, not one person went up to her. And you found out that those two kids were the same age. But the way people are conditioned to view black people is that we're older than we are, which explains why younger and younger black girls are sex trafficked. I read up on this so much when I did that video, did like a whole deep dive, and it made sense to me when I pieced that together. That the little girls were both like 4 years old, but not one person went up to that little black girl. And so many people, person after person, went up to the little Caucasian girl. Black girls are viewed different. They are over sexualized at younger ages. These things are out there. I don't know. Do I still have that gone? Let's see. Racism Explained in 30 seconds. You wanted to say something? Camille, you wanted to say something?
I just think, I just getting older and like seeing things, I see a lot of stuff has a lot of gray areas. So I just think a lot of stuff can be true at the same time, and I'm leaning more towards the side of that this girl like kind of set up a scheme, that's just my opinion. Yes, black girls.
You can have it. We're not going to attack you, Camille. You can have an opinion.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's why I say, like, it's my opinion. I don't want to, like, offend anybody, and I am a black woman, I've experienced things, but also, like, I'm not old, but I'm not young, so I've been through stuff. So I can see how certain things, might happen and where two things can be true. She could have been, black women are battered, abused, and we are some of the most attacked women on the world. But just because a black woman does something that's wrong or not doesn't mean that all black women are liars and everybody else that's going through something is lying. So I don't know. I think it's just a lot of gray area with this situation. Like it's really hard to tell. But I'm leaning more towards the side of like girl, like it's really not adding up.
Okay, check this out. This is Racism Explained. No. Again, you're free to have your opinion. That's what Discord is. We talk about things. And who knows? You might change somebody's opinion or your opinion might change by the end of this conversation. But this is Racism Explained in 30 seconds. Here is the little black girl in the same market square. People are passing by. Other black people are passing by. Nobody is stopping. Here's the little Caucasian girl. Right away, people are going up to her. Are you okay? Where are your parents? These kids are the same age. Crazy, right?
Definitely.
Anyway.
But it was a Caucasian little boy. So
the what?
She stated that the child on the side of the highway was a Caucasian boy.
Well, no, the point of this video was just to show you that black women, people don't go after them. People aren't as concerned. The news media doesn't cover it at the same rate. So just that little depiction, that little 30-second video is proof positive. So it's very important that moving forward, we address little black girls who go missing just as heavily as any other race. No child, no woman, no man left behind is kind of the concept that we have to employ moving forward. And what we did for Carlee needs to be duplicated again and again and again.
I agree.
Let me see.
I agree as well.
Got a super chat. Miraculous. Thank you so much. Something happened. I I will never call her Jussie. Thank you, Miraculous.
I think something happened, and I was also like my brain was going everywhere. I was going into like paranormal activity, and I really don't even do that, you know. So, like,
Yeah,
maybe the baby wasn't a
something.
baby. Maybe she seen some. I don't know. Like, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You're correct. I'm just agreeing with you. Something happened, but it was 5 minutes. It's not something I believe that she staged. Period. I just don't believe it.
Like, did she take some shrooms or something? Like, what was going on? Like,
no, we do not know that this woman has ever done drugs in her life. Stop it.
No, I'm
No,
just saying it's
deprivation.
alleged, but I'm just wondering, like,
Just being sleep deprived will make you see things. And then people are saying, well, where did she disappear to? There's woods right there. I mean, we've got to be open to anything that could have happened other than just saying this girl is up and lying. I mean, come on now. If I ever go meet God, please don't do me like that, okay?
She could have gotten snatched into a portal. Like, we don't know.
Yes. 5 minutes of the police being there after her being called. This is not something that I don't believe that this was staged. Not by her and her family. I don't believe that. I really don't believe that. I don't. I'm sorry. No.
I think the girl was abducted. And it could take weeks. What I need for people in the shade room to do is stop calling her Jussie Smollett. What I need for people to do is stop reaching out to the girl's parents and harassing them. At the end of the day, not you two, but in general, at the end of the day, how are you going to feel if it turns out that this was true? If her information actually helps take down a kidnapping ring, and even if, she did have a mental break or whatever the case may be, we have to learn that what we did as a people was the right thing. We shared it. We talked about it. We made it a trending topic. That's what we have to do all the time. And for those who don't believe her, at the end of the day, your prayers on somebody are never wasted. If you did the right thing, that's all you have to worry about. And let the rest of the pieces fall as they may. That's just kind of it. Guys, we got like almost 800 people in here. We only got 300 likes. Definitely hit that like button. Carol, thank you so much. She said, just showing support, Mims. I love your take on this. We got to talk about these things. I can't be messy all the time. We got to talk. We got to talk about some real things.
Yeah, sometimes. I like this. It's different. Like, it's very different. So.
All right. Well, ladies, I want to thank you guys for coming up. This wasn't like a full panel situation, but it's one of those things where if it's something like this happens, I want to hear from people. And again, I don't mind if your opinion is different than mine. That's when we talk it out, and we have a meeting of the minds around here with the Straight Shooters. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button, and I will end with my outro. Have a good night, y'all.
All right.
You too. Bye.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. I want to make it make one.
Big Mims. Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
I remember when Candy Hair used to look like this. I fly above. I fly above. I fly. No, that what you? No, I fly above.
Okay, sorry. Q says there was a GoFundMe for her to help for her search. I hope she didn't fake it, or we will have to read this down. Sad story at the end of the day. Thank you, Q. I didn't know that there was a GoFundMe. I'll definitely check into that before my next video. Miraculous black man, Gray Sedan, first report. That's what they said. I think it was like a light complected black guy in the Gray Sedan. Let me see if I see really quickly a Carlee Russell GoFundMe. Fundraiser for Carlee Russell, Alabama nurse. Let's see. Help her get her light. Of GoFundMe created to help the missing Alabama woman. The fundraiser titled Help Her Get Her Life Back appears to have had 0 donors. I don't know that that's real. 0 donors? Carlee Russell's family says the reward for information has been increased to $60,000. At this point, additionally, $63,000 donated to the local Crime Stopper chapter to be used as a reward, but I don't see anything that's a GoFundMe. So if you have some information, you could hit me up. But we're gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. And I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Oh, okay. She's supposed to have a GoFundMe over 6. It's not a GoFundMe. It was donations to Crime Stoppers for her reward, not any money that's tangible in her parents' pocket. So see you guys next time. Have a good one.